Took the money out of the account, and you probably shouldn't have.
We were still in a relationship, and he wasn't talking to me. I took it out after I found out he was cheating on me.
You know, that's a reason to go to see a therapist. It's not a reason to empty a bank account.
Judge Judy.
See what happens when you try to get somebody's attention? Sometimes it bites you in the behind.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Joel Hills Garcia is suing his ex-boyfriend, Justin Haywood, for draining their joint checking account and for overdraft fees.
Order. All rise. This is case number 187 on the calendar, the matter of Hills Garcia versus Haywood.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat. You're welcome, Judge.
Mr. Garcia, it is your claim that Mr. Haywood, with whom you were involved in a relationship, drained a joint bank account after the two of you separated. And you had put the vast majority of the money in that bank account, so you want to be reimbursed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Probably not happening. Mr. Haywood, I'm not exactly sure what your defense is. You say it's a joint bank account, and I have every right to take out much more. How's that? And then you have a ridiculous counterclaim, which I'm probably just going to give you 3 minutes to annoy me and tell me about. Okay. Just for my own information, Mr. Garcia, am I correct that you met sometime in December of last year, and by February you opened a joint bank account with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
How old are you?
27.
27. I've had this program for a very long time. Don't you ever watch it?
I do watch it.
So you always learned a couple of things, you know, should take away a couple of things. One, you never sell a car to a relative, a used car. That's number one. Never lend any money to somebody and really expect to get it back. Because people usually say, you know, I needed it, was a loan, but now you want it back and you insulted my great aunt, so I'm not paying you back. So there's always a reason. The other thing is, when you open up a joint bank account, because were you living together?
No, we weren't.
You were never living together?
Yes, we were. We were staying in hotels together. We were staying in hotels together for the majority of our relationship.
Okay, so you were living together for that couple of months' time. When you play house, as opposed to marrying and having a legal relationship where you can say, listen, I'm going to buy a car together with money in a bank account, but I got to tell you, there isn't a judge that I know, and this is certainly not one to outstep the pack, that will say, I'm going to look in a joint bank account and say, well, I deposited this and we paid this much for this, and I deposited that and paid this much for that, because it's ridiculous. So I'd like you to tell me why in the world you opened up a joint bank account after you met somebody and knew them for 2 months.
Mr. Haywood actually asked me that we should get a joint account together, and so...
He what?
He asked me if I could get a joint account, like we should get a joint account together. We were in agreement of it.
Just a second. Hold on, I'm asking you. I'm asking you why.
Because at the time I just had my EDD for unemployment, and I actually didn't have a bank account, so he suggested we get an account together.
So is what you're telling me he had money and you didn't?
No, I had money. I had an actual joint account. I had a bank. I was getting paid by the state of California for disability and then unemployment. So
Just a second. How long were you on disability?
Approximately 3 months.
And then you went on unemployment?
Correct.
Did you lose your disability because they found you were not disabled?
No. My doctor took me off of disability because of the fact that my employer terminated me because due to economic hardships.
Okay. Now, when you open up a joint bank account with someone, the money is pooled. We don't say, this deposit was made by you and this deposit was made by you. Because legally, he's not entitled to any money. You took the money out of the account, and you probably shouldn't have, right?
Correct.
Okay. So if you knew that you shouldn't have, because it wasn't money that you actually put into the account, and the relationship was over.
It wasn't actually over at the time.
Oh.
Until I caught him cheating.
Well, just a second. Give me the date that you took the money out of the account. I just want to know the people that I'm dealing with, because then I'm going to go to your counterclaim.
I was on April 20th, 2015.
4/20 is when you took the money out?
Well, it was actually the date that I actually just transferred it into our joint savings account.
You took it out of the joint checking
account and put it into the joint savings account.
On April 20th?
On April 20th.
Just a second.
Yes.
And you did that why?
Because Mr. Hills Garcia wasn't communicating with me. We were still in a relationship, and he wasn't talking to me.
Were you still living together in a hotel?
Well, a week before we were at a hotel, but then his aunt had come. He said he was taking care of her, and then he was making all these excuses why he couldn't see me. So I hadn't communicated with him over a week, and I had been texting him.
Okay, so you hadn't communicated with him, and your response to that was going to remove the money from the joint checking and put it in a joint savings. When had you opened up the joint savings?
They were both open at actually the same time, Your Honor.
Because you wanted to be like a couple.
Right.
But not really a couple. Okay. And how much did you...
Not enough to still to keep money in to have anything pending, so the account
took out
wouldn't...
$1,950.
$1,950.
Tell me why you took it out.
I actually was with the witness here, his ex-wife. I didn't know what else to do because I knew he was using the account for other charges, but he still wasn't communicating with me at the time.
I mean... You know, that's a reason to go to see a therapist. It's not a reason to empty a bank account.
Right. No, but
Unless you wanted his attention.
I wanted his attention, but it's not like I
took it. Okay, so you put it in a joint savings account.
And then I took it out after I found out he was cheating on me.
And what did you do with it?
Well, I took out the money out of the savings account when I found that out, and then I was still texting him after he was demanding the money from me, which I have proof of, out of that account, and so we could talk about like what was going on with our relationship. So,
okay, so it was to get his attention.
More so, yes.
So there was a week's period of time when you were not communicating, but you weren't sure whether you were still a couple or not.
Right.
Had you gone to your sister's house, Mr. Garcia? Did that have something? Or
I moved into my parents' house because my great aunt.
So you moved out of where you were living with Mr. Hayward, moved into your parents' house.
Yeah.
Okay, but you weren't together for that week, and it was about a week's period of time when he was trying to communicate with you.
It was like 3 days.
Oh, 3 days. First thing you should have done, close out the account, right?
Correct.
Because the law says that each one of you has the right to all of the money. What a joint account is, right? Because I assume that when you found out that this money had been withdrawn, you went to the bank.
Correct, I went to the bank.
And you said, why did you give him the money? Did you ask anybody why they gave him the money?
I talked to the branch manager.
Right. And the branch manager told you that it was a joint account and he had every right to do that.
She said, take it to court for a civil matter.
She said he had every right to do it because it's a joint account. That's why you don't open a joint account. Now, I want you to tell me about your nonsense counterclaim. You have about 30 seconds of my time.
Well, I'm countersuing because of the money taken out of account, he started threatening and harassing me.
Yeah, so...
And I had to actually file a restraining order, which was granted by the Ventura County courts for that. And I had to retain a lawyer for this, and he also did a retaliation.
Just a second. Did you hire a lawyer?
Yes.
How much did it cost you?
For the retainer, for all the, was $4,000.
$4,000, a lot more than the $1,950 that you took out.
Yes, there was a lot of...
See? What happens when you try to get somebody's attention? Sometimes it bites you in the behind.
Right. And also for the personal property that I divided in half from when we actually separated that he still has, which I divided in half. That's all I'm actually countersuing for.
You know what happens, Mr. Hayward, when you do the wrong thing?
What's that?
When you do the wrong thing and you come into a court of equity, the court of equity doesn't want to help you. There are lots of things that you could do to get the attention of a former partner, friend, lover, boyfriend. And if you're entitled by law to take it, if you're taking it because you're just looking to get their attention, but you know in your gut that it's the wrong thing to do, judges, especially this one, is disinclined to lend you a hand. So, Mr. Garcia, this is the situation, sir. When you open up a joint bank account with somebody, be prepared for them to take out everything. That's what the bank told you. That's what I'm telling you. And you have no counterclaim. You had to hire a lawyer to get a restraining order against him. You spent twice as much, according to you, as you took out of the account. That would be too bad.
Well, Your Honor, it's because every single partner he's been with, he's had restraining orders against them. His ex-husband, his ex-wife has
I don't
attempts to
care. Listen, this is Reader's Digest. This isn't War and Peace. Right now I'm dealing with what I have here. He would not have bothered you at all had you not taken out money that rightfully, in all probability, was his.
Actually,
Correct.
Your Honor, I have proof that we had a verbal agreement that before we opened the joint account, I have proof right here, I can show you, of all the charges from the hotels, everything, our joint charges.
Do you think that we're involved? Courts aren't involved with that.
I also have his tax return that he gave me, which is with my address, that he promised me to pay the money from all the hotels.
Mr. Hayward, my dear, you told me a moment ago the reason you took the money out of the account. Let me repeat, because my short-term memory is pretty reasonable at this time. You told me that you took the money out of the account because you wanted to get his Don't interrupt me.
Yes.
Because you wanted to get his attention, because he refused to answer your calls and texts. Then you said you put it into the savings account, which was a joint account, because once you got his attention, you were going to do the right thing and give him back the money. Just that was the suggestion, Mr. Hayward. Then you intimated that you found him cheating on you and you took the money for yourself. That's what you just told me.
Correct,
The
Your
case
Honor.
is dismissed. That's all. Yours too. Goodbye.
Excuse me, step out.
After I saw him and, cheating with his ex-husband,
I wasn't cheating at all with my ex-husband. He's a liar.
that's pretty much when I thought that was it. That was it for our relationship.
And he's been trying to do this the whole time. He's just mad because I don't want to be with him anymore.
All he had to do was actually talk to me in the end, and we could have settled this out of court.
He's very aggressive, very abusive, and I just had enough of it.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Clark versus Gambin. Step forward.
Cindy Clark is suing her ex-boyfriend, Richard Gambin, for the cost of airline tickets to Italy.
Miss Clark, it is your claim that the defendant who you were dating owes you for airline. According to you, the relationship didn't last as long as the trip. The airline tickets were non-refundable, according to you, so you just didn't go. Canceled the tickets. And you want Mr. Gambin to pay you for both tickets, yours and his.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, why don't you tell me the conversation that you had with Mr. Gambin with regard to the airline tickets? Because that's simple. That's what the case was about. You have some sort of a ridiculous counterclaim claiming she libeled you. Did she call you a thief?
Just short of that.
That's what she thinks, because you didn't pay her back for the airline tickets. That doesn't mean that she's allowed to say vicious and insidious things about you, but if she calls you a deadbeat, that's what she thinks about you. Do you understand?
Correct.
Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now she doesn't seem like such an idiot to go and book the tickets 3 days after you met, when you were wooing her and said, I want to take you to Italy. Me, when I was growing up in Brooklyn, they said, let's go to Queens. I mean, that was a big deal.
That was a big deal.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Cindy Clark says ex-boyfriend Richard Gambin owes for the cost of airline tickets to Italy. Richard is countersuing for job endangerment and libel.
Okay, so tell me about the conversation. When did it take place?
It took place 3 days after we started dating. He told me...
Just a second.
Yes.
Which was on what date?
Our first date was December 31st, 2014.
So it took place
3 days
the
later.
first week in January.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
The first week in
Let me
January.
hear.
And he told me that he would like to take me to Italy with him this summer. He goes back there every year for 3 weeks of teaching. And he told me that he would like to take me there with him.
Good. And
I started researching airline tickets for the next few weeks and found some tickets that were very good priced and told him about it. And he said, that's a great price, baby. And so we decided to book our tickets. And on the day that we booked them, he said he didn't have the money right then. I said, I can put the tickets on my credit card. You can pay me back before the trip takes place. He agreed to this.
I don't believe you. A, I don't believe you because I'm looking at your face and I don't believe the story. That's number one. And number two, any woman that's your age meets a guy and 3 days later says, I'm going to invest $4,000 in airline tickets because he says to me, I meet him in December 31st and this summer he says, I want to take you to Italy, baby. He has to be missing a few screws. Either that or it didn't exactly happen that way.
I didn't answer him right away with a yes or a no on going to Italy.
You said, did you purchase the tickets?
March 16th.
Show me. Okay, so the 2 adult tickets were $4,000. Your ticket you can use. Well, that's what it says in the letter.
Yes, I can.
That's what it says in the letter. So your ticket you can use. You have to pay an exchange fee, but your ticket you can use. So why are you suing him for $4,000?
Because I will never use that ticket.
Who cares?
And go to Italy.
Who cares? It doesn't say you have to go to Italy. It says you could go anywhere.
Yes, I can. And I lose. If I take a trip to, say, Nebraska or Colorado, it costs me $300
I don't care.
to rebook the ticket.
I don't care.
Okay.
That's not particularly relevant to me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I'm just looking for a logical reason. And don't tell me about your heart, because I don't care about your heart. I'm talking meat and potatoes here to you, Gambin. Is there any reason why you don't use this ticket?
I don't want to use it because she bought it.
You're a moron.
Real cases. cases, real people. Judge Judy. Cindy Clark says ex-boyfriend Richard Gamblin owes for the cost of airline tickets to Italy and libel.
Now, Mr. Gamblin, she bought the tickets in March, which means that you were sort of dating January and February, so 2.5 months. Now she doesn't seem like such an idiot to go and book the tickets 3 days after you met, when you were wooing her and said, I want to take you to Italy. Me, when I was growing up, they said, in Brooklyn, they said, let's go to Queens. I mean, that was a big deal.
That was a big deal.
Like, things changed. I'm going to take you to Italy. But now you know that she bought these 2 tickets, right?
Correct.
Okay. And there's no question in my mind, so pay attention. There's no question in my mind that she told you about the exchange policy. You know, you couldn't just cancel it and get your money back. That's one of the reasons that you got a cheap fare, right?
Correct.
Okay. And on what date do you break up?
February the 3rd? Or, I'm sorry, April 3rd or April 2nd, somewhere around
Fine.
there?
So a few weeks after she purchased the tickets, which you can use, right? You can use it. So use it. It can't be transferred to anyone whose name is not your name, which is Gamblin.
Correct.
So only Mr. Gamblin can use the ticket. And I assume, since you weren't lying to her when you say you go to Italy every summer, right?
Correct.
Why don't you use the ticket to go?
Well,
Well is not a good answer. And don't try to make things up. If you go this ticket, which was a good deal,
because she broke my heart.
who cares? I don't know if
I'm
she broke
sorry.
you.
She broke my heart.
I don't, well, that means exactly.
Okay, so I could use the ticket, but the idea is that she is not just suing you for the ticket. She wants the money for the ticket.
No, just a second. You think she wants to send you to Italy?
No, I do not assume
Just a
that
second.
at all.
Well, what do you mean of course she wants the money for the ticket. She wants the money for your ticket. She wants the money for hers too. That she's not going to get. But she wants the money. She's not going with you. You're going to go use this ticket. What's wrong with that? She's already paid for the ticket.
Why can't I use another ticket I purchased up with my own money?
Because that would be vindictive and stupid. And you're not stupid, are you? I mean, you're arrogant, but you're not stupid.
No, I'm not stupid.
So it would be stupid for you if you have this ticket not to use it and to avoid being made a fool of in front of 10 million people and say, you know what, Miss Clark, it didn't work out, but I know you bought these tickets. I'm not paying for your ticket. Give me my ticket, which I have here. I'll give you the $2,000 for my ticket. I'll change the time if that's what it takes to go. I'll change the time, and here's my half. We're not a couple anymore. Why wouldn't you do that?
Because from the beginning of our relationship, she never, ever asked for any money in return. She always bought everything for us.
Just a second. I don't care. Right now, you're not in a relationship. Whether you do care about her, whether you don't care about her, I'm just asking you a very logical question.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, if you're going to Italy this summer, because I assume you weren't giving her a crock of baloney about that.
No, I wasn't.
Why can't you use this ticket to go, which is a perfectly good ticket? Pay her for the ticket and go. You would pay for the ticket anyway, unless the airline is going to pay for your ticket for nothing. You're going to pay for an airline ticket. Why not pay her for the airline ticket that she got in March, which is probably a much better deal than you can get in April or May? I'm just looking for a logical reason. And don't tell me about your heart, because I don't care about your heart. And don't tell me about the beginning of your relationship. I'm talking meat and potatoes here to you, Gamblin. Do you understand? Is there any reason why you don't use this ticket?
I don't want to use it because she bought it.
You're a moron.
That's simple.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. Your counterclaim is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
We worked every single month on this house to get it ready for her to sell.
Was this renter's labor?
Her, I did not. Don't cross your arms. There's only one attitude here. That's mine.
Judge Judy.
Because he thought I was weak.
I loved her very hard and completely.
I'm not. He just never saw that side of me, that I could stand up for myself.
After the act, of course, she was trying to buy my affection.
Sometimes you just need to dig down deep
Because of all the money she threw at me.
and find that backbone
She taught me a good lesson.
and stand up for what's right.
Not to give my heart to anybody anymore.
He doesn't have a heart.
Live and learn.
Time to move on.
His dog lunged at my dog, immediately bit my dog.
This pet owner is feeling positive.
He bit a dog
allegedly. These do not look like bite marks, ma'am.
These are sutures from being bitten.
And a neighbor's dog is lucky to be alive.
He's a big boy. If he's gonna bite him, he's gonna bite him. Probably kill him, if anything.
Why would you own a dog like that?
He was basically an emotional support dog for my mother.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Alvin Mullen and his girlfriend, Jahari Patterson, are suing Nora for vet bills, lost wages, and emotional distress resulting from a dog attack.
Order. All rise. It's case number 106 on the calendar in the matter of Mullen Patterson versus Oseguera.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Are you a couple?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have a dog?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of dog?
King Charles Cavalier and Bashan mix.
So a small dog. And you live in the same complex that the defendant does?
Yes, ma'am.
In the same building?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
It is your claim that his unleashed dog attacked your dog.
It broke the leash.
He had it on the leash, and it broke the leash.
It broke the leash or broke his grasp. One of the two.
Tell me when this happened.
January 5th, around 2 p.m.
And your dog was injured.
Yes, ma'am.
You wanted minimally the vet bills paid.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant has a cross-complaint. The defendant's cross-complaint is owing to your complaints he had to get rid of his dog. That's your cross-complaint.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of dog did you have?
I have a blue-nosed pit bull.
How old?
He was just a year old.
Had him as a puppy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Mullen, who's going to speak?
I can speak.
You're giving him...
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
saying it's okay?
Thank you for that.
Perfect. I just had to check with the boss. Okay, Mr. Mullins, you want to tell me what happened?
Yes, ma'am. We were going for our afternoon walk. I actually came back on my lunch break from work to the left of the staircase that we usually go up to through the apartment complex. As we were walking by, he had his dog and his family was sitting down at the picnic tables there. I could tell he was a little bit tense, so I just kind of
Who was tense?
The dog. It's kind of tense on the leash a little bit. So we kept on going to the right and just proceeded to go to the stairs, but his dog lunged at my dog, broke off the leash or broke the grasp of his leash. I'm not sure. I didn't see the condition of the leash afterwards. Immediately bit my dog, and as that happened, I was fortunate enough to be able to yank my dog up from his leash, catch him like a football, and pretty much run around the courtyard and try to get away from his dog at the time. As I was yelling at him to try to come get his dog, I had to go up to
So when you grabbed your dog, as you say, as a football, he had already been bitten.
He'd already been bitten. I pulled him from his from the mouth of his dog, literally.
How did you do that?
With the leash. So his dog broke his leash. I was walking my dog on my leash.
How far did, what was your dog's name?
Diesel.
Diesel. How far did Diesel get from where he was holding him when he broke free of the leash to where you were? Point to someplace in the room.
It was probably point to someplace in the room. If the picnic tables were right there, we were probably about where the cameraman's standing right there.
So about 8 feet.
About 8 to 10
8 to 10 feet.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the dog was off leash, out of his control for that 8 to 10 feet. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you grabbed your dog and started to run.
Started to run because the dog chased me.
How far
Apartment complex.
did he actually chase you to the stairs? How far would you say that was?
I was zigzagging, so it was probably just distance-wise without the zigzags included, probably about maybe 200 feet, 200, 300 feet.
And his dog was chasing you all that time?
Chasing me the entire time.
And what was the defendant doing?
At first, I think he was a little bit shocked, but then once again, I started yelling at him, like, get your dog. And then at that point, he did try to run and apprehend his dog, but, you know, without the leash, it's just kind of hard to control an animal that big.
Did he finally get control of his dog?
He did.
Where was that?
That was just at the base of the stairs.
Is that right, sir?
No, ma'am.
How did you get control of your dog?
Can I explain my side, if that's okay?
I will, but I'm asking you a question. There came a time at some point that your dog got free of your grasp.
Yes, ma'am.
So my question to you was, when you retrieved your dog, was the dog at the base of the steps?
No, it was not.
Where was the dog?
I had the dog, so I'm pretty sure he was just running afterwards, and he thought it was all the way to the staircase, but it really wasn't, because I had control of the dog way before that by the grass.
How did you, just a second, how did you get control of the dog?
By his harness, basically.
So you chased it?
No, I mean by his harness. I have the leash.
Mr. Oseguera, at some point the dog was away from you, outside of your control.
Yes, ma'am.
All I want to know is how far your dog got when the dog was out of your control. You managed to get your dog immediately, because he said that his dog was bitten when the dog was 10 feet away from you. And you're telling me that you immediately regained control of the dog at that point?
Yes, ma'am.
And he was just running with his dog?
Yes, ma'am.
And your dog was not chasing him?
No, ma'am.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you there?
No, I was not.
Then you can sit down.
Thank you.
Okay.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I do have a witness that was there. He was unable to make it into court today, but he is available via telephone if we're able to call him.
No,
Okay.
you can't do that. That's unfair to Mr. Oseguera. If he was a witness and she wasn't a witness, what did you bring her for instead of the witness?
She was involved with a lot of the things that we paid for afterwards, just in regards to the e-banking statements and things of that nature as well, so I definitely want to bring her along.
Okay. Now, at some point, Mr. Oseguera, you were contacted by the building where you lived?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened?
They basically gave me 3 days to, like, get rid of the dog, so I had to get rid of him and everything. They were telling me to put him in a shelter, but, I mean, at the end of the day, that's part of my family. So we're not going to put him in a shelter knowing that he's a pit bull. They might put him down just because he bit a dog, allegedly, so they'll put him down. So I would not want to put him in a situation where he'll get put down. So we just gave him away and everything to, I really don't even know where we gave him away, basically. My mom's friend just found a home for him, and I'm not going to go through that hurt. And at the end of the day, that was our dog, and he was part of my family. And he was basically an emotional support dog for my mother, and I got all the paperwork as well.
What paperwork?
Just proving that he's an emotional support dog, and that he helped out and everything.
He bit Mr. Mullen's dog.
He did not bite his dog, like I said.
You have photographs of the dog?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at them.
Here's a photograph of the dog before he was bit. Just a regular photo without the injuries.
Thank you. Would you show these two photographs to Mr. Oseguera, please?
I mean, these do not look like bite marks, ma'am.
They're not bite marks, they're stitches.
Can I just say something real quick? So basically, my dog
Don't
is...
give me basically.
Okay, I'm sorry. So my dog is an 80-pound dog, way bigger than his dog. If my dog would have bit him, I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have torn his back apart.
Yeah, when you go to vet school, you can tell me.
Sorry?
When you go to vet school, you can tell me. What do you think?
I mean, ma'am, like, he's a big boy. If he's going to bite him, he's going to bite him. And he's going to lock his jaws on him. Probably kill him, if anything, like I said. But
let me ask you a question, Mr. Oseguera.
Yes, ma'am.
When I find you say that has the capacity you know of, because you just said it to me, if my dog, which is a big boy, locks jaws on the dog, he's going to kill him.
Of course.
That's what you say to me. Why would you own a dog like that?
I mean...
Why would you own a dog like that? That is something that's mind-boggling to me.
I mean, I don't discriminate on dogs or anything like that. And, I mean...
Listen, that's not what I asked you. You get a dog for companionship.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, your nonsense counterclaim says that the dog was a comfort dog for your mother.
Yes, ma'am.
There are Labradors, and there are Poodles, and there are Golden Doodles that are big dogs, that if they lock jaws on you, they can't kill you. You know, because of the configuration of your dog's jaws, that if they lock jaws on you, they could kill you.
Yes, ma'am.
So my question is a simple one to you, sir, Mr. Oseguera. I would like to try to explore the mind of somebody, and listen to me out there, folks. If you love pit bulls, don't write to me. I've gotten all your letters already. I got them. I just don't understand why somebody who doesn't look as if they have a mental illness would choose a dog that's capable of causing death to another dog with one bite. Why would you do that?
I mean, like I said, he was
Now, don't tell me because I don't discriminate against dogs. That's a stupid answer.
Yes, ma'am. German Shepherds and Canine as emotional support dogs. Same reason. They lock their jaws as well. It's the same reason, ma'am.
It's the same reason in your mind.
I mean, it's...
In your mind, it's the same reason. And you're not listening to what you didn't listen to my question.
Yes, ma'am.
A German Shepherd, a Labrador, because of its physiological makeup, isn't capable of, as you say, locking jaws and causing death instantaneously. That's what you said.
I mean, they are, though.
That's what you said. They're not capable. So why would you get an emotional support dog for your mother? If I believe that, which is nonsense.
I mean, I have the paperwork right here.
I don't care if you have paperwork. You can get paperwork on the internet.
This is from an actual, hospital and stuff.
Yeah, okay, good. Can I see all your vet bills, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not getting through to Mr. Oseguera.
Man, can I tell my side of the story real quick, man?
You just told me your side of the story. You told me he was. You told me he was lying. That his dog did not chase him.
My
to
dog.
a staircase.
I have pictures where my dog is on the bench, and my dog. I didn't have control of my dog. My dog was on the bench. Look, I'll show you. I have pictures of my dog on the bench, and like I said, he had an extended leash. So when Mr. Alvin basically said he chased him, he didn't chase him. He basically just have an extended leash on him.
Right.
So that's what I'm. That's
your dog bit his dog, and he had vet bills, and you're going to pay him.
The reason, ma'am, because this dog came towards my dog, and my dog got up. He's a playful dog. He got up, and then that's when Mr. Alvin and everything just like came and grabbed his dog, and he basically dragged his dog. So I'm pretty sure that's where the injuries came from.
Mr. Oseguera, these are sutures, not from being dragged on the pavement. These are sutures from being bitten. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
He had a puncture wound, not a burn mark from being dragged. That's what you say in your answer, that he dragged him.
The pavement is like basically different type of pavement.
It was a
like
bite mark. That's what the vet says. Puncture wound on the torso of the body. Open your listening ears.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
you lied twice. You lied about having insurance, and you certainly lied about the photography shoot. The phantom car I'm not sure about, but I don't care, because you lied to me once, shame on you. Lied to me twice, shame on me.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Alvin Mullen and his girlfriend, Jahari Patterson, say neighbor Gerardo Oseguera owes for a dog attack. Gerardo is countersuing, claiming the couple caused his dog to be banned from the complex.
Mr. Mullen, I'm going to award you your vet bills. I am not to stay home with the dog. I'm not awarding you for emotional distress, and I'm going to tell you why. Because despite the fact that he's thick as cement, he did have his dog on a leash. He wasn't walking like some idiots do with a big, powerful dog like that, off leash with a bat. He had his dog on a leash, which suggests to me that the dog got out of his control, but initially he tried at least to have some measure of control over the dog. And if what he's trying to say was he had this dog on an extend a leash, which means that the dog could run for 10 feet, because he acknowledges it was 10 feet from the place where he was sitting with the dog to where the dog got. He acknowledges that. What he doesn't acknowledge, which I don't believe, was that the dog didn't chase you. I believe that the dog actually did chase you. So I don't believe that part of the story.
I mean,
you told me.
Yeah, I know, but all the way to the staircase, I mean, 10 feet is not all the way.
Your Honor, if I may, just out of curiosity, irregardless of whether he had him on a leash or not, I feel like the time that we had to spend off work, to take care of all that stuff, and the additional money that we had to spend as a result of that after our dog was on pain pills and couldn't even use his potty pads anymore.
Yeah, and?
It's a lot of extra expense that I would like to be reimbursed for.
That's part of having an animal. You probably should have picked the dog up faster.
I don't know if that was possible.
Oh, sure it was. Yeah. Because you told me I passed by. Yeah, I might have picked up my less than 20-pound dog faster when I saw.
He was going to break off the leash, though, Your Honor.
He didn't break off the leash.
You don't know. That's why if you're walking with your little dog or you're walking with your toddler and you pass a pit bull and the pit bull looks tense, you pick the toddler up and just walk in the other direction. You do the same thing with the dog. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying to you, don't talk nonsense to me. You're entitled to your vet bills being paid. $388. Judgment for the plaintiff. Your counterclaim, which is nonsense, is dismissed.
Parties are excused. They step out.
There was no dog attack. He basically dragged his dog on the floor on the pavement.
That's just ridiculous. Judge Judy saw the vet bill.
And that probably was the things that hurt him and everything.
I think my evidence speaks for itself.
And I had to get rid of my dog in like the 3 days and everything.
He's doing much better. Yeah, thank you for asking.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Carrillo versus Bonilla. Step forward.
Anya Carrillo is suing 25-year-old Marianne Bonilla for vehicle repair bills after Marianne crashed into her parked car.
Miss Carrillo, you're in your house. Your car is parked on the street, not far from your house. Right in front?
Yes.
What kind of a car did you have?
A Toyota Camry 97.
When had you purchased it?
About 2 years ago.
How much did you pay for it?
$3,000.
Okay. And Miss Bonita, your car plowed into the plaintiff's car.
Mother's Day.
What time?
It was approximately 7 a.m.
Where were you coming from?
I was coming from Valley, down Eastern.
Where had you been?
I was doing an early makeup job at 6 a.m.
For whom?
For my witness and her mother.
What did she need makeup for at 6 o'clock in the morning?
They were doing an early photo a picture with the family, and she got the makeup done for her mom for Mother's Day.
Did you work that day?
I worked only on them because it was Mother's Day and I have a daughter.
I want to tell you something. I don't believe you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Mind telling me why you told the police officer you were sleepy and fell asleep and don't remember anything after that?
I got knocked out by the airbags. Maybe I told them I was asleep because I was knocked out. I don't remember telling them that.
I'm Jerry Bell II.
And Jerry Bell III.
I'm like a big bear. He's my little cub. This little guy is nonstop. He's always want to hang out with his friend. Got to be prepared to sit at the edge of your seat and be ready to get up. There's no deep couch sitting. It's definitely not good for my back. This is the part I really don't like right here. What's that? It's a Swiffer wet jet. It almost feels like it's moving itself. This is kind of fun. That comes from my floor? Ugh. This is deep couch sitting.
Deep couch sitting.
Real King. Anya Carrillo says Marianne Bonilla crashed into her parked car.
I'm going to tell you I don't believe you.
Why?
Because nobody has their makeup done at 6 o'clock in the morning to take a photograph, because that means you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And nobody's going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to have their makeup done because they're having photographs done for Mother's Day.
Okay.
Doesn't make sense. Makes better sense as if you were coming from someplace else. Because you acknowledge that you hit the plaintiff's parked car, but you say some phantom car came out, hit you, and then took off, and you hit the plaintiff's car, so it wasn't your fault.
Yes, that's what happened.
Yeah. So let's start with the fact, Miss Bonilla, that I don't believe the fact that you were coming from your friend's house to do her makeup, and she got up herself at 5 o'clock in the morning, and she got her mother up. How old's your mother?
42.
42. She got her mother up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know where I'm going. You get my drift. Do you get my drift? Yeah. You want to give me the name of the photographer?
Jose Photography.
Jose Photography. Is he a friend of yours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. Perfect. Can I see the police report, please?
Sure.
What kind of car were you driving, Miss Bonilla?
A 1999 Toyota Camry.
Well, why didn't you put it in through her insurance?
Our insurance denied the case because they were in contact with her insurance and they said she was not insured at that time, and the report
Show me
also
proof
says
that you were insured on May 10th.
The last bill was...
It's very easy. Just show me proof that you were insured on May 10th.
These were the last 2 payments.
I don't want to see the payments. I want to see proof of insurance on May 10th.
I don't have that.
Do you want to go out and get it, or you want to not waste my time? She says that her insurance carrier because she doesn't have collision on her car because it's an old car. You had liability insurance?
Yes, ma'am.
Your carrier contacted her carrier. She gave you an insurance card?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a letter indicating that the insurance wasn't current?
Let's...
Just save me some time. Otherwise, you can go out and get a letter from her insurance carrier indicating that on May the 10th of this year, you had active insurance. Is that correct?
They're saying it's not active.
All right. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Right? So we're here because you lied twice. You lied about having insurance, and you certainly lied about the photography shoot. The phantom car I'm not sure about, but I don't care, because you lied to me once, shame on you. Lied to me twice, shame on me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? On Facebook. And follow us on Twitter.
Okay. What time did you go to sleep the night before on May 9th?
At 9 p.m.
And what time did you get up on May 10th?
5 in the morning. I got to our house at 5:45.
Well, so then you got a full 8 hours sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Mind telling me why you told the police officer you were sleepy and fell asleep? And you don't remember what happened after that?
I don't remember I vividly remember what happened after that.
I'm asking you if you got 8 hours sleep.
Yes.
Mind telling me why you told the police officer that you were sleepy and fell asleep and don't remember anything after that?
I got knocked out by the airbags, and I vividly remember after that. Maybe I told them I was asleep because I was knocked out. I don't remember telling them that.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,800. Don't drive a car without insurance.
While you're excused, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
You took this room, I assume you were homeless at the time.
Yes.
I don't know why you thought you had the right to dispose of her things.
She's a scam artist.
I don't know who the scam artist is.
Next
Judge Judy. What
I remember a huge crash running out of my bed.
A white Corolla hit me on the back left side.
I asked her
to hit the other cars.
So I said, okay, paramedics need to come.
And I was knocked unconscious.
Well, the paramedics told me that she was intoxicated.
There was never a breathalyzer done. I didn't go to jail, so I don't know.
But I don't know. I don't know what really happened.
Why they would say that. I was knocked unconscious, maybe.
Well, you should keep insurance on your car.
No, I'm glad everything's fixed.
Over time, multiple children started coming in and out.
You made your house a revolving door for trouble.
Taken for a ride by your invited guest?
You purchased a second old car. And when you moved out, you took the car.
Yes.
The car is titled in whose name?
Mine.
I had actually sent Aspen with the money to go register it for me.
The judge proposes a new living arrangement.
I am going to give you a choice. One may involve you being arrested.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Annetta Campbell is suing her former friend, 20-year-old Aspen Manning, for the value of a car and a ring she took without permission.
Order. All rise. Annetta Campbell versus Manning.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat, huh?
Ms. Campbell, I would like you to explain to me the dynamic in your home. From what I gather from the complaint that you filed, you have young children. How many?
I have 4 children.
And what are their ages?
8, 9, almost 14, and 19.
And at some point, you decided to open up your house for teenagers.
Yes.
Who, for some reason, were not living with their families.
Correct.
When did you decide to do that?
When my son turned 18, he had some friends who were in that transitional period. His best friend, Julian, who is the witness for the defendant, he was staying over a lot. Then he had a couple friends who either didn't want to stay at home or couldn't be at home because their parents wouldn't allow them to be at home after the age of 18. So I started out with about 2 or 3 kids, and then over time, multiple children started coming in and out. We, of course, had to kick some out because of their behavior.
I have to tell you, that sounds really odd to me.
Wasn't what I thought. My husband is a youth counselor, had worked for years with juvenile youth, so it's kind of our nature to do that. When I was a young kid, I didn't live with my parents, and I had people who took me in from the time I was 16 on. So.
And how did you pay for these children?
Both my husband make sure we made ends meet.
And give me the range of these children.
They were all around 18 and 19, right with my son's age.
So they were adults?
Yes, absolutely.
Did they work?
Some did. Some did not.
The ones that worked, did they contribute to the household?
No, not really. I made them pay for their own things, but not really to the household.
When you say their own things, their own clothes and
right,
those things. Now, when did Miss Manning come to live with you?
She came, it was about December, could have been January, but I believe it was in December.
Of 2014?
2014, correct.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Why weren't you living at home?
I stopped living with my parents when I was 17. Right after I graduated, I moved in with my grandparents. Then I had some personal issues happen, and then I moved in with a friend, and then that didn't work out, and then she allowed me to move in with her.
How did you meet her?
My ex-best friend was living with her at the time.
How many other young people were living with her?
Probably 9. I think there was 16 of us in under one household.
Is that true?
No, we never had that many.
Okay. So this is what this case is about. You claim that at some point you purchased a second old car so that the young people who were living with you could do things for you. Mm-hmm. You know, take your young children to and from where they had to be, run errands, which all sounds very reasonable since they're living.
I did pay for groceries sometimes.
That's okay, but you weren't paying for rent.
No.
Were you working besides?
Yes, I was.
Full-time?
Part-time, but I worked almost every single day.
Okay. And then whatever happened, and you moved out?
Yes.
And when you moved out, you took the car?
Yes.
The car is titled in whose name?
Mine.
Is it titled in your name?
Yes, and I have a picture
I'd like to
of
see
the
it.
title.
Your Honor, I've never seen the title from the time we purchased it. My husband went and picked up the car, and I've never even seen the title. It was never given to me.
What kind of car is it?
1994 Honda Accord, white.
That's this car.
Yeah, it's definitely that car.
Your Honor, I also have a text message the day before from that title of her saying it is my car.
Just to say, well, I'd like to see that too, because that's what your case is about. You want your car back.
Right.
Well, it's her car.
Well, she took the title. When my husband picked up the car, he had put everything in the car she wasn't there when the car was purchased. And so when he went to go pick up the car, he gave the paperwork.
Just a second. Who's the husband? You want to tell me how the car got into her name?
The day on the 10th when we went to go pick up the car, Aspen wasn't there. And when I paid for the car, the person we purchased the car from, in front of him, I told him to put all the paperwork in the glove box. So Annette in the car.
And the car was purchased on what date?
The 10th.
10th of what?
April.
What year?
2015.
And when did you leave the house?
I left June 1st, I believe.
June 2nd.
Well, if you buy the car, did you register it? You went, purchased the car. How much did you pay for the car?
$1,800.
Now, you have other cars in your house.
Yes.
I assume that those cars are registered.
Yes.
How many other cars do you have?
At the time, we had one, and then when we bought that one, that was two.
So the other car is registered?
Yes.
In whose name?
In Annetta's name.
When did you purchase that car?
2014.
No, 15.
15?
It was my car.
What kind of car is that?
It's a 2007 Kia Spectra.
Did you register the car?
I had purchased it not too long before we got this car, and I had actually sent Aspen with the money to go register it for me, which we did often with my son. Because of our work hours, it was very difficult for us to make it to the DMV. So we actually had Aspen register my car, which went fine.
Which was fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So you have a registered car that's insured.
Correct.
And you added it to your insurance policy.
Correct.
And you communicate with your husband. Now you know you have two cars. And what did you do about registering this car?
We did the same thing. I gave the money to Aspen to go and register it because of our work hours.
So you bought two cars at the same time?
No, my car was bought about a week or two prior to this.
So before that you had no cars?
We had one car that was my son's we were using because the witness for the defendant had actually crashed to the car that we did have, so we were down to one vehicle.
They had another car. It was an Accord, and they got it repoed.
That was my son's car.
For me in the morning, it was late again. I put gas in your car. That doesn't say it's your car. I have a question for you. Question. Look at me. Question. And I'll get to you in a second.
Okay.
Who do you live with now?
I live in my own house now.
Where does he live?
He lives with me.
Who went to the DMV to register their car?
I did.
And how did that transaction go? She gave you money, and you went to the DMV, right, and you registered the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. How much after you registered that car did you register this car?
I registered that car, I believe, 5 days after we got it. So, and I believe it was a couple weeks after.
Now you're going to explain to me, because now I'm beginning to get it.
Okay.
Now you're going to explain to me, because this means nothing, why he gave you a $1,500 present.
Honestly, I'm not sure. They sat me down by myself and said that it was going to be for me. She wanted me to put my name on the title and the registration, and so I did. And I have text messages.
Just a second. Show me proof of insurance.
I don't have it.
I do.
You don't have it because?
She was paying for the insurance.
So let me explain something to you, madam. I am notifying the Department of Motor Vehicles that you fraudulently registered this car. And they're going to change the title. And then they're going to have the police come to your house and pick up the car and maybe charge you with fraud. Do you understand? I want you to follow me. Follow my eyes. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to give you a choice. Either you sign the title over to these people, because that's what was supposed to happen with this car.
I have a text message saying she doesn't want to be repaid for the car,
Just a second. I am going to give you a choice. One may involve you being arrested for fraudulently registering this car. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
The other way, you just sign the car back over to them because it's their car. You got me?
I understand.
What's your pleasure?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Why you would want to bring into your house a bunch of troubled 18-year-olds, grandparents. Do you understand all these things that are going?
In hindsight.
You understand? It's not hindsight. It's common sense.
And later today.
And what kind of dog do you have, sir?
Great Pyrenees, Pit Bull mix.
Great Pyrenees is a huge dog.
Yeah, it's a huge
How does that
dog.
get mixed?
She has the...
You don't know what Frankenstein put these two together.
No, I do not.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Annetta Campbell says former friend Aspen Manning took her car and ring without permission. Annetta is countersuing for harassment.
What's your pleasure?
I'll sign the car back over.
Great. Let's get the original title. Where is it?
I don't have it with me.
Bird, have her sign this title over.
Your Honor, can I show my other evidence, please?
Sign the title.
I will sign it, but can I show you?
Absolutely. Now, just so that we understand each other, any monetary fees, et cetera, that you are expecting, you will not get until we get the original title. Saying to you?
Yes.
Perfect. Now you can show me any other nonsense that you want to show me.
Before I moved out, I was at work, and, well, before I went to work, Will asked me to go get a loan on the car in my name. Because the title was in my name, they knew that. When I didn't go, I have the messages from her. She freaked out and said she was going to sell the car. I'd been paying for the car ever since then, except for the insurance.
For what for the car? You mean for gas?
Yes. But
so what you're telling me is she asked you to take out a title loan because they needed money on their car?
No. They needed to pay their attorney for their other...
Whatever, they needed the money. It was their car. They paid for the car. You were just supposed to register it.
I actually have right here. She said that she wanted to, if it costs to make it perfect, so be it. And I said, I don't know how to ever repay you. And she said, I don't do it to be repaid.
Did you understand what I said to you
yes, I
about
understood, Your Honor.
Money, finances, everything else? The original title to the car. We will give you a FedEx envelope. FedEx it.
Okay.
And then you may end up being a marginally happy person, including him. Because what were you going to tell me? Some other nonsense. Do we understand each other?
Yes, Your Honor.
No good deed goes...
Also, it's not a really important... Well, it is important.
She says she didn't take your ring.
I have a picture of her wearing it.
Oh.
Your Honor, that ring was from when I was still living with them. I do not have that ring.
Just a second. I see her wearing a ring. Was this picture taken before or after she moved out?
I don't know.
Who was that?
Me.
Get up. Get up over there. You see this picture?
Yes.
Where was it taken?
My parents' house.
When?
Before we moved out.
What was she doing with the ring outside of the house?
I do not know. Sorry, I guess.
What were you doing with the ring outside the house?
Your Honor, her daughter and I shared clothes. We shared jewelry. She wore my things. I wore hers. But I do not have that ring anymore.
I'm going to go back to my original premise when we started this whole case.
Yeah.
When you take into your house somebody else's trouble, that's the least of what you should be worried about. A ring that she took. Why you would want to bring into your house a bunch of troubled 18-year-olds. She couldn't live with her parents. She couldn't live with her grandparents. Do you understand all these things that are going?
In hindsight,
you understand?
Absolutely.
Hindsight? It's not hindsight. It's common sense.
Well, I went through my experience, and based on my experience.
I mean, you know, so if once in a while you want to have somebody listen, but you made your house a revolving door for trouble.
Not anymore.
Well, that's a very good thing. I suggest that if you don't want to be in really serious trouble, you return that card to them. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She knew I had the bill of sale. She knew I had the title, and I had all those text messages.
Your own parents couldn't take you or wouldn't take you. We took you into our home, and this is what you did to us.
I even told her that I appreciated her more than my own family, and I regret saying that to this day.
I will not be taking any more children. I'll focus on my own.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter, Belkin versus Rhodes. Step forward.
Kimberly Belkin is suing her neighbor, Brian Rhodes, for vet bills resulting from a dog attack.
Ms. Belkin, it is your claim that the defendant's dog got out through a fence and bit your dog in the nose. Mr. Rhodes says that your dog was close to his fence, was sticking his nose through his broken fence, and he was hurt somehow by nails that was sticking out in the fence. Is that your defense, sir?
Yeah, when the dog broke through it, it exposed nails.
You're saying that her dog broke through the fence?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you there?
No. Well, yeah, we were there when it happened. I wasn't outside at the time.
No, I want to know, were you present? Did you visually see what happened, or is that what you're surmising?
No, that's what I'm surmising.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Her dog pushed it just enough to stick its nose in. And I don't know if my dog bit it or if her dog got it caught, because whenever she pushed the nose through...
Just a second. You may not know, but she knows, because she said she was there and saw it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kimberly Belkin says neighbor Brian Rhodes is responsible for a dog attack. Brian claims his dog is innocent.
Okay, first tell me when this happened, on what date?
It was February the 7th of 2015.
What kind of a dog do you have?
I have a blue heeler.
And what kind of dog do you have, sir?
Great Pyrenees, Pit Bull mix.
Great Pyrenees is a huge dog.
Yeah, it's a huge dog.
How does that get mixed?
She has the... Yeah, she has the color and the short hair of a pit bull. Other than that, she's all Great Pyrenees. She's about the size of a small horse.
You don't know what Frankenstein put these two together to
No,
make
I
this.
do not.
Okay, so tell me what happened on the 7th.
Okay, so I was walking the dogs. It was a Saturday afternoon.
Just a second. Did you say dogs?
I did. I have two dogs. Only one of them got bit.
What's the other dog?
She's also a blue heeler.
Go ahead.
I was walking the dogs on a tandem leash on the sidewalk next to the defendant's fence. So I was walking up the sidewalk. I could hear dogs. Sudden, this dog broke through the fence, grabbed Gypsy by the face, grabbed her by her muzzle, and was shaking her really vigorously, and then kind of trying to back up, like he was trying to pull her through the fence. So I just grabbed the leash and started screaming and pulled as hard as I could to get him away. And then I went up to the front yard, away from the fence.
So Mr. Rhodes' dog actually came through the fence?
Came through the fence.
The whole body?
The face, the head, and the feet were coming through. So probably a little, like up to the shoulders.
You have a photograph for me?
I do.
I'd like to take a look.
Of the fence?
Yeah.
I have several, actually. And there's one particularly where it shows the boards come up from the fence. They're not even nailed down.
Mr. Rhodes, it looks to me as if your fence is not in good shape.
No, there's been a few times that she stuck her nose out. She's made a hole where she could get her nose out.
No, I'm telling to you, it looks as if the fence is not much of a fence in a lot of places.
There's nothing, like no big areas completely missing. There's been little holes that she's knocked out and a few planks that she's knocked loose.
There are big holes in the fence.
And I have pictures. She took a picture of some of the big holes about 30 feet down my fence.
Is what you're telling me that these photographs that she's showing me is not the area where she was walking?
Yes, that's where she was walking. But
Okay.
I'll show where there's actually planks on the inside of the fence to where my
I'd
dog
like to
can't.
see that.
That was all of them.
He didn't put the planks up until after it happened.
There's pictures there before and after. The dark brownish colored ones are planks that have been from previous patches. The bright orange ones that you see, those are from the patch from the incident of what happened here. And you can see the little piece of wood, the bottom 4 or 5 inches of the plank that was broken through.
Well, there's no way that her dog was pushing through this way.
Her dog pushed it just enough to stick its nose in. And I don't know if my dog bit it or if her dog got it caught, because whenever she pushed the nose through...
Just a second. You may not know, but she knows. Because she said she was there and saw it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
My dog's head is bigger than the hole that was made in my fence. There's no way my dog got up to its shoulders out the fence.
Yes, it did. Well, you can see the boards aren't even nailed down. They flap up.
On the inside, there are boards.
Push them away.
On the inside, there are boards.
Not that day, there weren't.
Well, just a second. When did you put up this board?
Is it bright orange?
Yes.
The bright orange one board was put up right after the incident. But if you look right next to that bright orange one, there's 3 brown ones that have been put up to keep those loose planks from her putting.
Well, your vet bills are $400.
That's right.
Why are you suing for $1,400?
I had punitive damages for the care of the dog.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $416. That's all. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy...
He really got to know his new Facebook friend.
What did you do when she got to the house?
Sitting on the couch talking.
Yeah, Anna, basically me and him had sex. I'm going to put it out there. I'm grown. We had sex. Okay.
Judge Judy.
It was terrifying. terrifying. It scared me to death.
She was hysterical, screaming and cussing and ranting and raving.
Blood all over me. She had blood all over her, and I had blood all over my shirt.
When I looked at the animal, I didn't see any blood. There was no blood on the lady. There was no blood on my dog. There was no blood anywhere.
She's fine now. She has a scarred face, but she's fine.
I just hope that she keeps her dogs under control as well, and that way there won't be any more issues.
I told her I don't drink, but she said she would come over drunk already. And I was like, all right, whatever.
I'd like to drink hard liquor, honestly.
He really got to know his new Facebook friend.
What did you do?
Basically, me and him had sex. I'm going to put it out there. I'm grown. We had sex. Okay.
Then regret set in.
The whole car was gone. My phone in the car, my bag in the car. I'm running after them, and they just go.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. 21-year-old Melissa Mayweather is suing her former friend, 21-year-old Jamal Saunders, for stranding her at a gas station, breaking her cell phone, and stealing her purse. Jamal is countersuing for a damaged car stereo.
Order. All rise. It's case number 203 on the calendar in the matter of Mayweather versus Saunders.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Ms. Mayweather, it is your claim that the defendant, who you know, who was a friend of yours, took your phone and broke it, stole your purse, and left you stranded with no way to get home.
Yes, ma'am.
After spending an evening with him. Mr. Saunders says you were drunk. You were belligerent in the car, where he was giving you a ride home, and he or someone else who was with you gave you your phone. He doesn't know what happened to your purse. You were probably drunk and lost it, and he's being belligerent. You broke some of the buttons on his radio, so you have a counterclaim.
Yes.
Okay. How do you know Mr. Saunders, Miss Mayweather?
Well, I met him a while ago, basically on Facebook.
You met him on Facebook?
Yeah, he's...
When did you meet him on Facebook?
I'm not sure. It was a while ago.
Why don't you give me a year?
2014, yes.
Okay. Now, on the date of this incident that involved your phone, do you recall what date it was?
Yeah, August 23rd, 2015, 3 o'clock, between 3 and 4 a.m.
Okay. Now, what were you doing in Mr. Saunders' car?
Well, we planned to meet up with each other.
Where did you meet up with each other?
We met up at Baldwin train station on Long Island, New York.
So you were on the train?
Yes, I was on the train, and he had...
What time did you get to Baldwin train station?
It was like around 11 p.m.
What day of the week was the 23rd of August?
Well, Saturday I traveled to the train station. He picked me up with his friend. We went to Long Beach. He drove to Long Beach. We hung out at his friend's house for a couple of hours.
Did you drink? Did you drink?
Yes, I did.
What kind of alcohol did you drink?
It was Four Loko, and I didn't even finish it all.
It was a what?
Four Loko. It's like a canned alcohol, basically. It's called Four Loko. I didn't even finish the whole can. I wasn't even drinking.
Have to hear about the incident.
Yeah.
So you hung out there for a few hours, and?
And basically we hung out. It was around 2:30ish, a little bit after 2:30, we left his friend's house. We were driving from Long Beach back to Amityville.
Who was with you?
Jamal and Ali.
Ali, and who was Ali?
That's my cousin.
How old are you?
16.
You were hanging out with them?
Yes.
Was he drinking?
No.
Were you drinking?
No, I don't drink.
Who else was drinking other than the plaintiff?
Melissa, that's it. Nobody else was drinking.
She was the only one drinking?
Yes, ma'am.
Whose house were you hanging out in?
My cousin's.
His house?
Yes.
Your young cousin?
Yeah.
Who does he live with? He's 16 years old.
His mother.
And was she home?
No, she went out that night.
So you had the house empty. Who do you live with?
Me, I live with my parents.
So you had an empty house?
Yes.
And you invited the plaintiff who you met on Facebook to come out to hang out with you?
Yeah, we were texting and she wanted to come out, and she told me that she wanted to get drunk. I told her I don't drink, but she said she would come over drunk already. And I was like, all right, whatever. I picked her up from Baldwin Tree.
What did you do when she got to the house?
And we just hung out and talked.
What does that mean?
Just sitting on the couch talking, hanging out, talking, whatever.
Yeah, and basically me and him had sex. I'm going to put it out there. I'm grown. We had sex. Okay.
I'm just
yeah, because he... Okay.
I got it. How old are you? 21-year-olds. So you traveled from Amityville, where you live.
Yes, Amityville.
To Baldwin, where he lived.
No, he doesn't live in Baldwin. He was coming off for work, so he's like, I'll meet you at the train station. Because he was saying if he drove out to come get me from my house, I would have to take the train back.
Was this the first time that you had seen him?
No, this was the second time I've seen him.
Where was the first time that you saw him?
It was actually, I'm not sure at the time, but it was a while ago back at his aunt's house. He picked me up from my friend's house, and he brought me into his aunt's house.
When, again, she wasn't home?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't his house. It was a different aunt.
What do you have their schedule when they're not going to be home?
No.
Well, they're going to change their locks, and you're going to be without a key. Okay. Now, after you got finished hanging out, go.
Okay. So we were driving back.
Driving back where?
We were driving back to Amityville. I asked him to drop me off at my house. He said, okay. I never gave him my address. I put my address in my phone.
Why didn't
For the GPS, because he didn't know where he was
Just a
from.
second. Why didn't you give him your address?
Because, you know, I was skeptical. I mean, I wasn't skeptical. It's just the fact that he didn't have my address. He never, you know, I put it in my phone, so it wasn't a fact. I put my address in my phone for my GPS, so it was no point of him asking me and no point of me telling him because it's in my GPS. He can follow the GPS.
Did he ask for your phone, or did he ask for your address?
He didn't ask for either.
Is that right?
No, ma'am. I asked her for the address. She didn't want to give it to me. She said she didn't want to give her address. So I said, go ahead, put it in your phone. She put the address in her phone. I'm like, let me see the phone. I can't know where I'm going if I'm not looking at the phone. She's like, no, I'm going to direct you there. So I'm looking over at her to the right, and she's texting. I'm like, come on, where am I going? So I get lost, and she wants me to make a U-turn on the highway. I'm like, I can't make a U-turn on the highway. She's like, yes, you can. You can make a U-turn on the highway. I've been driving for 4 years now. I cannot make a U-turn on the highway. It was crazy. I was lost for like a good hour and a half.
Good hour and a half.
Just a second. So what happened, sir, after you were lost?
I'm like, Melissa, which way am I going? Where am I going? So she starts directing me again, and then we finally get somewhere. She tells me to get off on one of the exits. I don't know where I was going. I didn't know the way. She's directed me. So we get off on the exit, and I'm like, listen, I have to go to work. I have to be to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's now going on 3:30. I got to be to work, so what do you want to do? And she's like, oh, stop at the gas station. I want to smoke. I'm like, okay, I don't smoke, but if I stop at the gas station, that's where I'm going to keep you at. I'm not about to be driving all the way. So I asked her, I said, how far do you live from the gas station? She said 5 minutes away.
5 minutes away, driving, not walking home.
She didn't say that. She said 5 minutes
I don't care whether you were stranded or not, actually. It is irrelevant to me. You want to tell me what happened with you? What did you go to the gas station for?
I had to get something to drink.
Why?
Because I just wanted to get something to drink.
Well, that's ridiculous. You said you were 5 minutes away from your house. If you were 5 minutes away from your house, you could have waited the 5 minutes and gotten a glass of water when you got home.
I know, but I asked him to stop at the gas station.
I know, but I don't understand why. A normal person who wasn't drunk would do that.
I wasn't drunk. We already, my drink had already, worn off by that time. I'd like to drink hard liquor, honestly, and that little Four Loko, it didn't do anything to me. I was a little tipsy.
Listen to me, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense for you to stop 5 minutes from your house, especially if you've been lost for an hour.
We weren't lost for an hour, ma'am. We were not lost for an hour, but we stopped at the gas station. Regardless of the fact, we stopped at the gas station. My phone was in the car, was in the front seat because I was sitting in the front seat. My bag, my pocketbook was on the floor of the front seat. I went inside, got what I needed to get, and came back to the car. He said, oh, and then jokingly mad, oh, you're not going to get me anything to drink? I'm like, oh, what do you want? He's like, oh, give me an iced tea. I looked in the back seat. I asked Ali, does he want anything? He told me no. So I proceeded back into the store. I don't have my phone. I don't have my bag. It's in the car.
Well, where did you get money from?
I had $100 cash in my bag.
So you just took the $100 bill out of your bag?
Well, it was in 20s, so I just just brung the money in, because the train station that night, I had the little dollar coin, so I had a dollar coin, so the juice is the dollar. It didn't make sense for me to bring my whole bag inside just to go in for 3 seconds if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and no one's in the store, so I'm not going to bring my whole bag with me. So I dug in my bag for the dollar coin. I went inside, got the juice. When I came back out, the whole car was gone. My phone in the car, my bag in the car. So I'm walking around, I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's playing a joke on me, whatever. I go in the middle of the street. I see him making a U-turn. Ali's sitting in the back seat still. He's driving. They stop in front of me. Ali drops my phone out the car, cracks my phone, and they pull off. There's a red light in front of them, so they stop. I'm running after them, and they just make the right, and they just go. And I'm calling him. I'm like, where's my bag? Oh, I don't have your bag. We left it outside. I didn't touch anything of yours. I'm like, why would you even do something like that?
Where's her bag?
Honestly, I didn't see no bag. In the car, I did not see no bag at all.
What happened with her phone?
Honestly, he looked to the passenger side seat. The phone was there. We drove. We made the U-turn, whatever, come back. She was walking in the middle of the street, so he said, give her phone. I rolled the window down, had the phone in my hand, and I passed her phone. After that, we just left.
Just a second. When you say you passed her the phone, did you hand it to her?
Yes, in her hand.
You didn't throw it on the floor?
Not at all.
Okay, very good. Anything else we want to tell me?
As I was driving to the gas station, she told me what she wanted to get. She said, I'm going inside to get a blunt bill.
I don't care.
Okay.
Listen to me. I don't care.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
You explain that to me, that I can understand it.
She was helping us out.
I don't believe you.
Having trouble.
I don't believe you. Helping out with taxes is one thing. Helping you out buy an $1,100 television set is something else. Read a book.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Melissa Mayweather says former friend, 21-year-old Jamal Saunders, stranded her at a gas station, broke her cell phone, and stole her purse.
Anything else?
I have a police report saying that my bag was in the car, $100 cash.
Just a second.
I tried to change my locks.
The police report says that you told them that your bag was in the car, not that they found the bag in the car. Is that correct?
Yeah, my bag is, yes.
Just a second. That you told them that your bag was in the car.
Yes. It was on the front seat of the floor. My house keys are in the bag. So was my address. So I had to change my locks, which I have a receipt for.
The only one that was drinking was you. He wasn't drinking and he wasn't drinking.
But I was drinking the night. I was drinking I was drinking 11 o'clock.
It's over. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I asked him to take me to the store, and he did.
We left her there because she was drunk. She was drunk, being belligerent.
I went back inside for him, and he just left me.
She was just drunk. I don't know. She was acting crazy.
He told me after the incident he had a girlfriend, so...
No, that's not why.
That was really about it, yeah.
She created it. She gave me the address. I would have dropped her off home, and that would have been it.
Done. Everything is done, yeah. I'm kind of upset about the whole situation.
Stuff happens. Things happen, so...
I thought he was a friend, and I guess he's not.
Leave these drunk people alone. That's it.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Augustine versus Anderson. Step forward.
Bernard and Colleen Augustine are suing Bernard's former co-worker, Mike Anderson, and his wife, Heather, for 2 loans and gas money.
Mr. and Mrs. Augustine, it is your claim that the defendants owe you some money. And let me see if I understand what you're claiming the loan for. The 2 couples were friends. And Mr. and Mrs. Anderson, I gather that you had some financial trouble a while ago?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And you had a tax bill that you had to pay. When was that?
It was in June of 2014.
And the Augustines, who were friends of yours, agreed to loan you some money so that you could make that payment. How much?
$1,038.
And your agreement was that you would pay that back?
Yes. Yes, I did.
How much did they pay on the 1038?
Okay. Up until the second loan, they had given me a total of $120.
It's not what I'm saying to you. I want you to listen to my question very carefully. You are claiming 2 separate loans, one for their taxes and another loan for a television set. They claim that they paid you the money that they borrowed for the taxes, and they say the television was a gift. I am not addressing that yet. And the $700 and some odd for gas money, I don't even know if I'm going to consider. But what I'm asking you is, in total, how much money did the Andersons repay you?
Unfortunately, Judge, I do not have these as separate entities.
Then I can't help you at all. Then I'm not helping you at all.
In total,
I want to know how much money the Andersons repaid you in cash for anything.
What the balance was still owed to me was $458.
You're not answering my question.
Ma'am, I can't answer it any better than this.
Well, you have to answer it better than this because the question is a simple one.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You paid it off with money that they gave you.
Yes.
That $1,100 was...
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Bernard and Colleen Augustine claim Mike and Heather Anderson owe for 2 loans and gas money.
All I'm asking you is how much in total in payments for anything did they give you? Not how much they owe you, because you are claiming more than they agree that they owe you. So I just want to know how much money they paid you.
I would say they paid me $1,038, Your Honor.
That's what I want to know. They paid you $1,038, and the $1,038 is the exact amount of money for their taxes. So I don't have to entertain that anymore. That's taxes. Now I want you to tell me what you're claiming the second loan was for.
Heather borrowed the money to purchase a television. She said that the interest they were paying was killing her, so she asked to borrow $1,100 to purchase a TV, a big screen TV.
But she already had the TV. Is that right?
No, she had a TV from somewhere where you rent, like furniture.
The television was in her home, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the television. And so she came to you and discussed it with you, and you gave her $1,100 so she could pay off the TV. But the TV was in her home already. You did understand that.
It was my understanding, actually, that they returned the TV to the rent-to-own and that they purchased a new television.
Is that what you told her?
No, Your Honor. It was already in our home from the rental center.
Fine. And you paid it off with money that they gave you?
Yes.
Okay. That money, that $1,100, was put in your hand?
Yes.
Why don't you owe them that money?
Because it was given to us as a gift.
Oh, you explain that to me.
Okay.
Just a second. Okay, let's go back a second. The two men work together.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So they work together.
Yes.
So they work together in the same kind of business. Is that right,
Yes.
sir?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
So do you earn comparable money?
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
you earn about the same amount of money. Do you work?
Yes.
Who do you work for?
A school district.
Great. And you have children?
Yes.
And what about you?
I'm sanitation.
I understand that. But you live with your wife?
Yeah.
Any children?
We have our 90-year-old mother and our youngest son with us.
And how old is the child?
He's 24, 23, 24.
And we had our 30-year-old son and his wife also.
Okay, living with you. Okay, so you got a full house?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right?
Yes.
Why in the world would these two people give you $1,100? You explain that to me so that I can understand it.
Okay. We were good friends.
I don't care.
And you know,
they're not people with a lot of money.
She was helping us out.
I don't
because we
believe
were
you.
having trouble.
I don't believe you. Helping out with taxes is one thing. Helping you out buy an $1,100 television set is something else. Read a book.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Read a book. Because what happened was, what really annoyed them was, you got your tax returns, and they were expecting some money from you, and you went and bought a car, put down a down payment for a car, which is not a bad thing. I don't think it's a terrible thing. But if you're in dire need of money and you have people who would, you know, living from paycheck to paycheck, just like you are, and trying to get along, you don't take their money and not return it. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Your Honor, again, I do have.
So far, you're not losing. So far, you're not losing.
Yeah.
So far, you're not losing. The only thing you're going to lose on is gas money, because I think that that's a fluff. You were driving him, sir?
Yes, sir. They're about 10 miles down the road, further than where I am from work.
Okay. I want you, not her, I want you to tell me when you had a discussion with him about giving you gas money.
Well, I can't tell you exactly the dates, but...
Well, give me a month.
I would say August last year.
Okay, in August of last year. Go ahead.
Talked to both of them about it. Actually, Heather is the one that came to me and said, we'll give you $20 a week for gas.
And?
Which that happened 2 or 3 weeks, and then nothing. They did pay gas, I'll say, on one hand 4 times.
Okay. And you picked him up anyway?
Yeah.
Great. Anything else anybody want to tell me? Terrific. You owe him $1,100. That's all.
Pleasure excused. You may step out. Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
These neighbors had nothing nice to say.
She was hollering and she was cussing.
But did she let her fist do the talking?
Next thing I know, she's in my face.
How did she get a black eye?
I don't know how she got a black eye.
Judge Judy.
I did this out of good faith, and I believe a man's word is as good as their handshake.
She gave us a gift.
And we shook hands on it, Heather.
She is just whacked.
It was more than a slap in the face. She sent me so many ugly texts.
Called me all well, she called me an idiot. Told me I was stupid.
I want nothing ever to do with Heather.
But you know what? I'm done with her.
There is no friendship.
And I'm so glad that this is over.
I have learned never to trust a friend.
Oh, don't ever, ever take any money from any friends, ever. It will ruin your friendship.
She's been going around the neighborhood telling people that me and Mr. Gaines are sleeping together. She called his wife and told her me and him was having an affair, which is not true.
Oh, interesting.
These neighbors had nothing nice to say.
She came up and she was hollering and she was cussing.
But did she let her fist do the talking?
Next thing I know, she's in my face. I got a right hook, a left hook. I fell backwards.
How did she get a black eye?
I don't know how she got a black eye.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Kiva and Stephen Jones are suing their former neighbor, Valerie Jones, for falsely accusing Kiva of assault.
Order. All rise. Thank
you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat.
You claim, Ms. Jones, that the defendant first assaulted you, filed false charges against you, has been harassing you, caused you to have to post bail, hire an attorney, etc. The defendant says that actually you assaulted her and have been harassing her. So I have claims and counterclaims. Now, I'd like you to tell me how you know each other.
I basically make the defendant through my former neighbor, Andrew Gaines.
You're not a party to this, are you?
Yes, I'm her husband, Stephen Jones.
I know, but how are you a party to this action?
I also had to take off work to bail my wife out of jail.
I don't care. Sit down.
She actually called my husband the day that this incident happened. That's how he's involved.
He may be a witness, but he's not a party.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We were having a lot of break-ins in our neighborhood. I seen Miss Valerie Jones walk into our mailbox one day. I stopped there and asked her, hey, we're about to have a neighborhood watch meeting. Do you want to come?
How far away do you live from each other?
Directly across the street from each other.
How long have you lived there?
I had been there maybe a few months, 4 or 5 months.
On what date were you there? A few months?
June the 18th. I had been there.
Of what year?
2013, I'm sorry.
So that's when you met her, in 2013?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how long had you been there?
November of 1998.
Okay. So you met in 2013. When did this incident happen?
June the 18th, 2013.
Well, that's a couple of years ago.
Well, this matter just finishing up. Like, we just went to trial March of this year, 2015. I was just found not guilty.
You mean she charged you with assaulting her?
Correct.
And the district attorney prosecuted that case?
Correct.
But after a full trial, they found you not guilty or not proven. Were you indicted for assault? Were you indicted? Were you charged with a felony?
No, I was charged with a misdemeanor.
Did you have a preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
In 2013?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the court found at the preliminary hearing that there was sufficient evidence to move forward?
We actually had a TPO.
What is that?
Well, we both went out and took warrants against each other in TPO. They did a hearing, and we both was arrested right there in the hearing.
Were you arrested as well?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
What happened with your case?
I was dismissed because I do not have any criminal history.
Okay, so your case was dismissed in 2013?
Yes, ma'am.
Your case proceeded forward?
Yes, ma'am.
To trial?
Yes, ma'am.
And you think that now you can have a civil case against her?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, interesting. All right. June 13th, 2013. Whose house?
Mr. Gaines' house. Andrew Gaines.
Were you a witness?
Yes, ma'am.
To the entire thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you filed charges against her for assault?
Yes, ma'am.
So the ball is in your court. You tell me how she assaulted you.
They were sitting in the garage. Both Mr. Gaines, Ms. Jones, along with her sister and her sister's friend. I was approximately 10 feet back, not in the garage, out in the driveway.
What was everybody doing in the garage?
Just sitting around talking.
Was it a gathering?
A gathering. I believe that they were having drinks.
In the garage?
Correct.
Okay, but the door open?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So Mr. Gaines and I was having a discussion because he was also hired as my lawn man because that is his business. And he broke the cap on my septic tank and did not tell me. And then once I discovered it, I asked him well over a month and a half to repair it. I kept getting the response, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So when I was walking the dog, we had no issues prior to this incident. Let me just make sure you're aware of that. I was having the discussion, the one-on-one conversation with Mr. Gaines. correct. With him not involving anyone else with regards to repairing the septic tank, trying to get a timeline because it had been raining in Atlanta consistently for well over a month, and I did not want it flooded. Saying, I don't want to hear that, what you got going on. Why are you bringing that up right here? I said, well, I'm having a one-on-one conversation with Mr. Gaines. This has nothing to do with you. I'm trying to get my property repaired. And then she continued to interject. Once again, I told her, do not involve yourself in what I'm having a private conversation, not a private conversation, a one-on-one conversation with Mr. Gaines. She, at that point, kept mouthing off. Of course, we exchanged words.
Just a second. You were standing,
correct,
according to you, outside the garage.
Yes, ma'am, correct.
And you had your dog with you.
Correct.
What
holding
kind
my
of
dog? A Yorkie Shih Tzu mix. I was holding him in my arms. Yes, ma'am.
So you were holding the dog?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And they were inside sitting around having drinks?
Correct.
So she was seated?
Correct.
And was Mr. Gaines seated?
Yes, everyone was seated.
Okay. Stand up a second. Move over there. Just answer the questions that I posed to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So far, is what Miss Jones tells me accurate? That she was walking by, that you and a group of people were in the garage?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
And that group include Miss Jones?
Yes.
And you were having a gathering?
Yes.
Was that on a weekend?
No.
During the week?
Yes.
7 o'clock in the evening?
Yes.
Were you having cocktails?
No.
In the garage?
No.
Just sitting and talking?
Yes.
But seated?
Yes.
She walked up to...
To my driveway. She came up.
No, she came up the driveway. We understand that, but she said she was standing outside the garage. Pay careful attention to my questions. She came up the driveway. She said she was standing outside the garage. You and Miss Jones were seated in the garage.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, I want you to point from where you are to something in this room. I want you to indicate the distance between where you were seated and where Miss Jones was standing when she was having this discussion with you.
When she had the discussion with me, she probably was about 2 to 3 steps from me, probably about right in front.
Okay. And how far was she from Miss Jones?
Probably about the same distance.
Now, was Miss Jones discussing with you the septic tank?
Yes.
And you had been taking care of her lawn up
Yes.
until June of 2013?
Yes.
Did you take care of her lawn after June of 2013?
No.
And I assume that that stopped because of this incident?
Yes.
Okay. How many years had you been taking care of her lawn?
It wasn't years. It's probably about months. Probably about 5 to 6 months.
When she came to discuss with you the fact that she believed, at least, that you had, when you were mowing the lawn, broken the top of her septic tank, did you acknowledge that that had happened, or was it a dispute with regard to that?
Didn't.
So there was a dispute?
Yes.
Okay. And did she discuss with you when she was standing 2 to 3 steps away from you, where you were? That's according to you. Did she indicate what she wanted you to do?
I didn't really hear because I had music going as well, so I couldn't really hear her.
So there was music playing
Yes.
in the garage. And how many people were in the garage?
It was 4 people plus a child.
Okay. You?
Me, Miss Jones, and her sister friend.
And a child?
Yes.
And everybody was sitting?
Yes.
And there was music playing?
Yes.
Okay. Now you can sit down. I may need you again. What happened next? So now they're sitting, you're standing.
I'm still in the garage. At that point, Miss Jones rose up and started standing. At that point, I'm still out in the driveway, and at that point, words kept exchanging. Miss Jones then comes towards me and gets in my face, starting arguing, telling me to not discuss the issue with Mr. Gaines. And then at that point, next thing I know, she's in my face, and then I feel she starts attacking me. I got a right hook, a left hook. I'm in between 2 of his vehicles. I got pushed. I dropped the dog. The dog ran out to the street in fear. Because I'm on an incline, his driveway is a steep incline, I fell backwards. So I had no way to me, and I never struck Miss Jones.
You have photographs?
Yes, ma'am.
You have medical records?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at them.
And here's some larger photos as well, but the other ones are better. Your Honor, there's also a picture showing the incline of Mr. Gaines' house, of his driveway. Your Honor, I had a, I'm sorry.
So you had a black eye?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, Miss Jones, ready?
Okay, we were sitting in the garage when she approached she did have a conversation with Mr. Gaines. The only reason why I asked Mr. Gaines if he could take that in the house or down the driveway, because she came up and she was hollering and she was cussing because I guess she had been upset. She had asked Mr. Gaines.
Just a second, she was hollering and she was cussing. I got it. I believe that that's probably true. She was annoyed. He hadn't returned her call. She had tried to reach him. It was not a quiet discussion. She was angry with him.
So when I interfered, per se, she got mad. She approached me with her dog in her arms. She walked up to me. She knew that I was afraid of dogs.
Just a second. Do not you. She was cussing. She was being rude, and there was a child playing around.
Your Honor,
so,
excuse me.
Now, she was outside of the garage. Then, according to you, she came into the garage?
Correct.
She came into the garage.
And then she pushed me.
Just a second. You're seated.
No, when she was walking towards me, I stood up.
Oh, so you got up.
Right.
So what were you doing getting up?
Because she walked in the garage. When I interfered their conversation.
Just a second. When you interfered in the conversation, tell me what you said.
I told her that, I actually was talking to Mr. Gaines. I told him, I said, can y'all take that in the house or down the driveway? Because she was cursing.
Absolutely
and my 2-year-old nephew.
You're absolutely right.
My 2-year-old nephew was in there.
You're absolutely correct. She should have taken it outside, taken it where there weren't other people.
Then she walks towards me with her dog in her arm, and she told me she don't give up about me and my sisters. She said she was talking to Mr. Gaines. I need to stay out of it. I told her, I said, I was invited here by Mr. Gaines. He invited me, so you can
just
leave.
A second. That's not this way this conversation came about.
Yes, it did.
Oh, really? Just that calmly?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He has caused me and my husband going to counseling. I'm about on the verge of divorce. She's been going around the neighborhoods telling people that men
talking.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kiva Jones says her former neighbor, Valerie Jones, falsely accused her of assaulting her during an argument. Valerie is countersuing for assault and harassment.
So you want me to believe that after she's cursing you and cursing everybody around you?
I told her, I said, I don't have anything to do with what's going on. I said, but you're cussing in front of my nephew. I said, you can leave. She told me that she didn't give about me and my sisters, and then she walked up to me and she pushed me. That is how that conversation and the whole thing
And then
happened.
how did she get a black eye?
I don't know how she got, well, she said that in the...
How'd she get a black eye?
She's saying now that she has a black eye, but in the last trial...
Just a second. I see it in the medical record.
In the last trial, I was found not guilty because she said that I didn't give her a black eye. I don't know how she got a black eye.
Do you
I
have
never
that?
touched her.
Just a second. Is that how you got a black eye from her?
I never touched her, Your Honor.
No, don't tell me how you got a black eye.
I'm still standing outside of the garage, never entered the garage. Miss Jones raises out of her chair, stands up, walks towards me, mouthing off at me, arguing with me.
Would you please tell me how you got the black eye?
From her right hook.
Well, that's
in my
what I'm
eyeball.
asking you.
Her right hook.
Just a second. Is that what you testified to in the trial? That's not what you testified to.
I don't have it from this last trial, but I have it where she says in here that I gave her a black eye and then she changed it. We couldn't
No,
get
just a second. I want to see where she changed it.
They wouldn't give me...
Listen to me. I don't care.
Because it wasn't... It was a recording that they do. They wouldn't give it to me.
Listen to me carefully. I want to know how she got the black eye, which she had.
I never touched her.
8 hours.
I never touched her because Mr. Gaines asked her to leave. He asked everybody.
Oh, no, I don't believe that.
I never touched her.
I don't believe that.
I never touched her.
No. I don't believe that. What did you do when she pushed you?
Oh,
what
when
did
she pushed
you do?
Me, I
Just
tried
a second.
to restrain her. I tried to restrain her. Mr. Gaines got up and he said, everybody leave. That's exactly what happened. I never touched this lady before.
I'm not talking about before. I'm asking you, what did you do?
I never touched her. I never touched her.
Really? You just told me you touched her.
She's just jealous. She made these accusations because she's jealous of me and Mr. Andrews' friendship. That's exactly what happened. I have no reason to lie.
Anything else you want to tell me?
This has been going on for so long. She has caused me and my husband going to counseling. I'm about on the verge of divorce. She's been going around the neighborhoods telling people that me and Mr. Gaines are sleeping together. She called his wife and told her that me and him was having an affair, which is not true.
I want you to stop talking.
Judge Judy continues.
And said
she hit me and that the police were called out. You probably need to come get off work because they're probably going to take her to jail.
Okay, so let me understand this. This is your witness.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kiva Jones says her former neighbor, Valerie Jones, falsely accused her of assaulting her during an argument. Valerie is countersuing for assault and harassment.
Now, you can't tell me what she said to somebody else, to his wife, to your neighbors.
I have my 2 witnesses here, ma'am.
Who wants to stand up?
She called me. She called me the evening of the incident.
Yeah, just a second. You're Mr. Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
My husband.
Just a second. So she called you the evening of the incident.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were not home and you were not a witness to any of this.
No, I was not.
You're going to tell me what happened when the defendant called you on the 18th of June.
Correct.
The night of the incident.
Correct.
Listen to me carefully. She called you at work.
Right.
So she knew where you worked.
Correct.
So clearly you had a friendly relationship with her.
did.
Okay? Where were you working at the time?
At a trucking company.
And how do you think she got your work number?
We had business together before.
Who had business?
Me and Miss Valerie Jones. I did some work on her vehicle before.
Okay, so she had your on your cell phone.
Correct.
And said
me and your wife just got into it at Mr. Gaines' house. She hit me and that the police were called out. You probably need to come get off work because they're probably going to take her to jail. I told her, I said, look, I will speak to my wife. I'll call my wife and see what's going on. I hadn't heard anything about the incident. I'll call her and see what's going on with this.
Okay, so let me understand this. This is your witness. Right after the incident, the defendant calls you because you had had business dealings, and I assume you were okay with each other if you had business. Otherwise, you wouldn't have given her your cell phone number.
Correct.
And she called you and she said, listen, you better come home because they're going to arrest your wife. She just assaulted me.
Correct.
Good, sit down. Anything else?
Just basically, we had to move out the neighborhood.
I don't care.
Because
I don't
she
care.
has called. This lady is crazy.
Listen to me. I just told you. You can't tell me what she said to anybody else, because that's hearsay.
Ma'am, I'm telling you, I never touched her.
I don't believe it at all. No. You misunderstand. The verdict of not guilty doesn't mean it didn't happen. It just means that it was not proved beyond a reasonable doubt. A lot of people in this world understand that. Well, you can say that. You're here before me, and I have to make a judgment whether what you are saying to me makes sense to me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, what you're saying to me doesn't make sense to me. I'm not excusing the fact that she was loud-mouthing because she was annoyed with Mr. Gaines, that he had been blowing her off. He did work in the yard, and she felt that due to his work, something broke. Put your hand down.
What reason would I have to hit her, though?
Because you just told me, because she pushed you. That's what you just told me.
I had no reason to hit her, though. They got up and interfered. I never touched her, though. I never had a chance to.
Anything else? Anybody else want to say anything? I'm done with you. Anybody else want to say anything? The petitioner's claim is dismissed. On the counterclaim, I'm awarding you $2,500 for assault. That's all. Thank you.
He's excused. You may step out now.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
A dog on the loose triggers an uproar.
I saw his pit bull running. I grabbed my dog's collar. The dog latched onto the underbelly and hind quarter of my dog.
How's the dog?
He's still a little sketchy.
Judge Judy.
The plaintiff was not being truthful. I did have a black eye.
She testified in court that she didn't have a black eye. Here today,
as well as my medical documentation from my physician.
I have no idea. The pictures that I seen, she didn't have a black eye. I don't know. She's a little delusional.
He was not being true for him and Ms. Jones have a relationship.
She's jealous. She accused me and Mr. Andrew of having a sexual relationship.
I think coming to your house at 1 a.m. when your wife is not there is a true relationship.
Because we hung out on several occasions. Actually, me, her, and Mr. Gaines hung out several occasions.
So they have more than a relationship than possibly could lead on to.
She wants Mr. Gaines herself.
No, Mr. Gaines is not my cup of tea. He's not at the standards of where I am, so I don't stoop that low.
She came looking for a fight. She came looking for a fight because she was upset that me and Mr. Gaines were hanging out.
Well, I will admit, it took me a minute to get past a feeling like I was going to be attacked again.
And having neighborhood parties, and she was no longer invited.
Going on because of the retaliation and the harassment that I kept going through.
Because nobody likes her. Nobody wants her around.
With the Miss Jones and Mr. Jones, so I'm glad it's over.
But I'm just glad to be away from over there, away from her.
Rah, rah, rah,
dog. You know, I heard the yelling, and she was screaming hysterically. She was being dragged off.
A dog on the loose triggers an uproar.
I looked right.
The dog was not on a leash.
No, ma'am.
Then it caused a serious injury.
I was pulling my dog up in the air, and the dog latched onto the underbelly and hindquarter of my dog.
How's the dog?
He's still a little sketchy a bit right now, still.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Cresta Disney is suing her neighbor, Aria Ayazi, for vet bills as the result of a fight between their dogs.
Order. All rise. This is case number 141 on the calendar, the matter of Disney versus Ayazi.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
You two people are neighbors. You each have a dog. Your dogs got into a fight. Each one sustained injuries. You are suing for the vet bills, and you're countersuing for your dog's vet bills.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what the case is about. Okay. Miss Disney, go over to the map. Show me where you live. Show me where your dog was. Show me where the fight took place.
Okay. I live here. And he lives here. This is 16. This is 20. What you can't see is a little...
Show me where the fight took place.
Actually, right behind my house. And it wasn't a fight.
I just asked you to show me where the fight was.
Right there.
Behind your house?
Yes, ma'am.
Not on your property?
It was on my property.
So it is on your property?
Yes.
Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Go over there and show me, sir, where the fight took place.
This is my unit number 20. This is their unit number 16. What happened was that their dog began to interact with my dog closer to the halfway point, and they took their interaction closer.
What do you mean, what does that mean, interact?
I mean, they began fighting with each other closer to the halfway point. I believe it was unit number 18 in the gravel area, and then they took
What was your dog doing anywhere near that?
Because my patio slab is right here, ma'am, and I just went outside to water my plants, and my dog
Okay, so you
had
went
followed
outside
me.
to water your plants.
Yes,
your dog
ma'am.
came out. Your dog was not on a leash.
No, ma'am.
What kind of a dog do you have?
She's a mixed breed, Staffordshire Terrier, Rhodesian Ridgeback mix.
So a big dog.
Less than 50 pounds.
That's 50 pounds is a big dog.
Yes, ma'am.
Solid.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So your dog was not under your control.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And that's where the fight started, sort of in the middle is what you're saying
Yes,
to
ma'am.
me? Where did it end up?
Closer to their patio slab.
Now you can go back. What kind of dog?
Half wire-haired terrier.
Half what?
Half Shar-Pei, half wire-haired
Shar-Pei.
terrier.
I thought you said a half pig. I said half pig, and
no.
That's why I raised my eyes. Okay, about how much does the dog weigh?
You know, somewhere around 45 to 50 pounds.
So they're around the same size.
Medium-sized
What were you doing?
dogs.
Stop shaking your head, or I'm going to put you outside. It's annoying. Do you understand?
Yes.
Great. Perfect. What were you doing outside?
We just gone for a walk around our community. It's about 1.5 miles. We came back out to sit on the patio to cool down. My dog was laying by my side on my patio pad, at which time, you know, we were just trying to relax from the walk. It was kind of warm. My dog looked right. I looked right. I saw his pit bull running. I grabbed my dog's collar. He has a martingale collar, so he can't slip it. And my dog, in his defense, was trying to block the dog from hitting me, pulled me a few feet, blocked the pit bull from hitting us, and I was pulling my dog up in the air, and the dog latched onto the underbelly and hindquarter of my dog. He was never out of my control.
Okay. Did either of you file a report with the community?
They said that it was going to be
Don't
a
tell me
civil
what they said. The question was, did either of you file a report with the community?
I tried to.
So the answer is no.
No, they wouldn't let me.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So there are no other official reports about this. Is that correct?
I have a report from Animal Control.
I'll read it.
And it's which I was not present.
Just a second. I just want to read it.
I have the same paperwork, Your Honor.
Just make sure it's the same. What time did this happen?
In between 5:30 and 6-ish in the evening of Sunday, May 3rd.
May 3rd?
Yes, May 3rd.
And you called Animal Control when?
You know what? I was at the hospital. My witness, Eric, can tell you when that happened because I stayed at the hospital pretty much the whole time with my dog.
Is your witness a neighbor?
No, she's my fiance.
Oh, okay.
I was there during the incident.
Okay. Why don't you stand up? What's your last name?
Andrew.
Mr. Andrew, where had you gone for a walk on the 3rd?
I walked.
Had you gone for a walk?
No, we had just gotten back. We had been out that day. It was a Sunday, and we had just gotten back to the house. She was out back with the dog, having a cigarette on the back porch. I was on the couch reading when all of a sudden I heard screaming and yelling. Rah, rah, rah. You know, I heard the yelling, and she was screaming hysterically. I ran out there. During that time, she had her hand on our dog's collar. She was being dragged off.
Shh. Just stand right there. Where was she?
Being dragged off our patio.
But she was near your patio.
She was about 2 steps west of our patio.
Fine. Can I see your vet bills, Miss Disney?
Yes. And I also have a picture of my patio if you need to see it.
I don't need to see it. How's the dog?
He's doing well.
Back to normal?
He's still a little sketchy a bit right now still, but he's a really good dog. He's my companion animal. I have paperwork to show that he's a companion animal, so he's very well trained.
I see vet bills in the amount of $12.27.
That's correct.
Would you tell me why you're suing for $16.75?
Well, there was also medication.
You have the bills for that?
I do.
I'd like to see it.
Here's the bill, or actually this just is the confidential patient information for my dog. Here's also something else. Would you like all the paperwork?
No, I don't. I just want the bills for the medication because I want to know where we get to $16.75 from $12.27. 119. Is that it?
No, there's also this one here for $28.50. I had to have it held in the right position so that it didn't rip open his stitches. And then also I just added $300 for gas because I had to make several trips to the hospital.
$12.27 plus $119.48.
Plus there was also pads and things I had to have the dog lay on because he was oozing.
$13.46.48. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $13.46.48. Your counterclaim's dismissed, sir. You keep control of your dog. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That's all.
Oh, excuse me, step out.
It's been aggressive towards me and my dog in the past.
My dog, he's very well trained. He's not aggressive.
For the neighbor aspect, that everything remains amicable.
I just want everybody to get along.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Charbonnier versus De Leon. Step forward.
Brunelda Charbonnier is suing her daughter, Lisa De Leon, for using her identity to open credit cards.
Ms. Charbonnier, the defendant is your daughter.
Correct.
And it is your claim that without your authorization, she opened up several credit cards in your name that she used, and you are now being dunned for that money. Ms. De Leon says that you did, in fact, open 2 credit cards for her.
Yes.
To use when she moved in with you, and you had a child with you. Is that right? Those were the only 2 had any other credit cards. Is that your statement?
Yes.
Okay. From what I gather, your daughter moved in with you in September of 2014.
Correct.
And it was at that time that you took her shopping and you opened up 2 credit cards.
Correct.
That she had in her name, or were they in your name?
No, it's my name.
Your name. Did you give her a copy of those credit cards?
No, did not.
So she used those credit cards?
Yes, but...
You handed her, just a second, I'm trying to understand. You handed her the credit cards so that she could use them to buy clothes for herself and the boy.
But I was with them.
So I'm asking you if you gave her the credit cards that she physically had in her hand.
Yes.
So she paid for her purchases.
Correct.
And that was between September of 2014 until she left in December?
Correct.
And what were the names of the 2 stores where she had those credit cards?
American Eagle and Abercrombie and Finch.
Abercrombie and Fitch?
Yes.
Okay. So those 2 credit cards that you opened in September of 2014 were opened for the express purpose of purchasing things for the defendant and your grandson.
That's correct.
And she had use of those cards from September until when?
Just 1 day.
And you say that you were with them at all times?
Yes.
So she never had the card. And that was in September?
Correct.
Would you know what date in September?
Summer?
September 2014.
2014. September 2014.
So she only used the credit cards, those 2 credit cards, on 1 day with you present.
Correct.
And you physically had the card, but did she give it to them And then give it back to you, the two cards?
Yes, I got those two cards back. On
that day?
Yes, that day.
Okay, so now we're moving forward.
Okay.
So those charges were made with your authorization.
Yes.
Now, what cards do you claim she opened without your permission?
Macy's, Mason's, Sears.
My question to you is, all these credit cards you claim were opened fraudulently.
That's correct.
Did you contact all those credit cards?
No.
Why not?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You have to tell your mother she has to contact the credit card companies and say, I never opened these credit cards.
She didn't know she had all these bills.
Then she has to...
She didn't know.
Are you not following me?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Bernilda Charbonnier claims her daughter, Lisa De Leon, used her identity to open...
Just a second. She says she didn't open them. Is that right?
That's correct.
Well, if somebody steals my identity and the credit card company doesn't do an appropriate research, they can't charge me. Why didn't you contact the credit card company?
Because I didn't start getting bills until after, like 2-3 months later. I mean, all these bills came little by little in the mail.
Meh. We're understanding each other. When you get a bill and you say, that's not me, I didn't open a Sears card. You call Sears, the credit department, and you say to them, I never opened a Sears card. Somebody stole my identity, used my numbers. Unless you just ignored the bills. Why didn't you call the credit card company? What is this? Why didn't you call the credit card companies and say somebody perpetrated a fraud?
The only way that I was going to find out about the bills is when they started coming in, and
well, absolutely right. Then they're in your name, right?
They're in my name.
They're in your name. So you call up the credit card company and say to the credit card company, these are not my bills. Show me the signature card where I gave you my information and signed an application. Show me. I never did it. What do you mean now?
I don't know, ma'am. I don't know what to say.
Am I missing something?
Not necessarily, but I don't think she...
If somebody fraudulently steals my identity and applies for a credit card in my name, and the company, without doing its due diligence, gives them a credit card, you're not responsible. You're not responsible, but first you have to call them.
It's true.
First you have to call them before you come here and ask for $4,500. Right? So that's your next step. You have to call the credit card companies, all of those credit cards that notified you that you owe money, and say, I never bought any of these things. I never purchased anything. I never applied for a credit card to Sears. I never applied for a credit card to Macy's. And they will look into it and they'll say, well, somebody who said they were you, say, all right, they may have said they were me, but they're not me. I never signed for any purchases. Show me my signature. But you just can't come here and say, I want $4,500. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Of course.
Perfect. That's all. Thank you. And if you get no satisfaction from them, and they say, well, somebody opened them, and we think your daughter, well, then they'll have her arrested, because if she used your information to fraudulently open up, they'll arrest her.
We have text.
Right?
Proving.
You understand what you can stand up now, because you sound like a pretty smart boy.
Thank you.
That's very good. So the next thing you have to do, you have to tell your mother, she has to contact the credit card companies and say, I never opened these credit cards.
On the span of the time she was doing all these charges, my mother was not aware of any of them.
Listen to me. Okay. It doesn't matter.
She didn't know she had all these bills.
Then she has to...
She didn't know.
Are you not following me?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
First you have to do is call the credit card company and say, somebody, I think it may be my daughter.
How?
But somebody...
If she didn't know about it.
Well, she knows about it now.
Yeah, after she left.
What difference does it make?
And later today...
If you have a boyfriend who's no longer your boyfriend, and if he says, I need a loan for $3,600, a loan that included, according to you, interest, then you would give him a check.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Bernilda Charbonnier claims her daughter, Lisa De Leon, used her identity to open credit cards. Lisa denies the charge.
Okay, first you have to do is call the credit card company and say, somebody I think it may be my daughter.
How?
But somebody...
If she didn't know about it.
Well, she knows. What difference does it make?
Okay.
What difference does it make if somebody
when
opens...
she's aware and she's not aware.
Well, she's aware now. Why don't you call the credit card company?
Well, we did after it was too late.
Well, what do you mean after it was too late?
When we called...
Show me the communication with the credit card company that you had that said, we're sorry.
Unfortunately, I don't have that record.
Listen to me.
Okay.
If somebody opens up credit cards without your mother's permission, that's theft.
That's correct.
That's theft. And she says it wasn't her.
That's correct.
Right?
Right.
You say it wasn't you. And I'm not getting involved with it right now until your mother reports it to the appropriate authorities. Do we understand each other?
I understand.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I can't pay all those bills because she did it.
I am responsible for some actions that they were saying, but not 100%.
I'm upset right now, let's put it that way.
I can try to pay whatever I did take, yes.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Myers versus Freilich, step forward.
Joe Myers is suing ex-boyfriend David Freilich for an unpaid loan to pay his mortgage.
Miss Myers, the defendant used to be a boyfriend. He is no longer your boyfriend. And you claim that after the relationship really terminated, but didn't Freilich indicated to you that he was short on money to pay his mortgage and that you made a loan to him in the amount of $3,600. That's what the case is generally about, this $3,600 loan to pay his mortgage. Mr. Freilich says that at some point you got angry with him and broke his phone.
Yes, ma'am.
So he has a counterclaim. He's going to tell me about that maybe. On what date did you give Mr. Freilich the $3,600?
On April the 8th of 2013.
Show me. Don't give me a whole bunch of papers. Listen to me. Don't give me a whole bunch of papers. Did you give him a check or cash?
Cash.
You gave him cash?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't believe you.
I have a witness here.
Wouldn't believe you witness. I don't believe you witness.
Why would you... Ma'am.
Very, very, very easy. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you have a boyfriend who's no longer your boyfriend, and if he says, I need a loan for $3,600 in order to pay my mortgage, which means that he has a home. You have a home, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a home.
Barely.
You have a home, and if you have a home, you have water and taxes and gas and electric and all of those other expenses. Correct, sir? And you are an adult, so I assume that you pay that money by check. Your mortgage by check, your electric, your cable, your dish, whatever equipment that you have in your house is all payable by check. So if you were making a loan, according to you, Miss Mayers, a loan that in addition to being a loan, included, according to you, interest in the amount of 8%, then you would give him a check.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, so you have the following choice, Miss Mayers. Either I'm going to say, I don't believe you, or I'm going to dismiss your case without prejudice, and you go back to the small claims court where you came from. What's your pleasure?
I gave him a loan for
$3,600.
$3,600. I have a witness that saw everything.
This is what I'm doing. I can either rule on it now that I don't believe this nonsense.
How could you not believe it? Do you not admit that I gave you a loan for $3,600?
No. Goodbye. Your case is dismissed. Go back to small claims court.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Did you receive the notice to vacate?
No.
Okay.
Her signature's on it, Your Honor.
Better take a look.
Next Judge Judy.
I'm really upset because I made a really wrong choice.
I'm glad I got